Hey everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. Today's video, I thought that we would just put on some makeup and chat while we do it about current events, you know, pandemic and everything. Everyone is staying home, social distancing, working from home, and the new normal is a little weird. I think we can all agree on that. And I know a lot of you guys are wondering, like, what kind of makeup do I put on when I'm just sitting around home all day? I know some people aren't. Some people are just going completely makeup-free, baseball hat, hair and pony. And that's great. That's fine. It's kind of nice to have some downtime from having to get ready and go out every day and be presentable. But on the other hand, sometimes I feel like it just makes me feel better about everything when I stick to my normal routine. When I get up in the morning, wash my face, put on my makeup, style my hair, actually put on real clothes, even though I'm not going anywhere and really hardly anyone is going to see me. I feel like sometimes it just makes me feel a little better about the world to just, you know, do some of my normal things. So as you guys know, the first thing that I always put on every day is my sunscreen. It's usually Elta MD UV Elements SPF 44 mixed with a little bit of Paula's Choice Super Light SPF 30, but I wanted to try this CeraVe new sunscreen with a powder foundation, and I think for like a, you know, staying home casual makeup thing, powder foundation is the way to go because it's really easy to put on. This is the new one from CeraVe. It's their Sheer Tint SPF 30, so it's a tinted one, and I have used it before, but I only tested it with liquid foundation, not a powder, and so I wanted to see how it wore with powder, because, you know, I'm always testing things, so why not? So if you want to play along with me and put on some makeup while we chat, that's great. I think the combination of tinted moisturizer and a powder foundation is just perfect for like a day when you're not really going out, like a no makeup look. So you can use whatever you have in the house. Obviously, you're not going to run out and buy things for this. Anyway, back to the CeraVe. You guys know it takes 1/4 teaspoon of sunscreen to do your face, your neck, like your chest and the backs of your hands. So it's kind of a lot, but you're spreading it a long way. So I'm going to use like that much. So I just like dab it a little bit here and there to make sure that I'm going to be able to get it to all those places. And even if you are staying home, even if you're quarantined or your state's on lockdown or you're just doing social distancing so you're not going out too much, you still need to wear your sunscreen every day. If you have windows in your house, that means that UVA rays are coming right through those windows, and they bounce off of reflective surfaces, so they hit you more than once, which is kind of the nasty part about them. And UVA rays, of course, cause a lot of the aging that we see on our skin. So you want to protect your skin from that, even if you are just doing Netflix and chill all day, or, you know, however you're keeping yourself occupied. And speaking of which, how are you keeping yourself occupied? If you're working from home, obviously you have to get up. You have to do your work because your company's expecting it of you. I feel like we are going to have the most organized houses and the cleanest yards when we come out of this thing, because that's a lot of what people are doing, is just doing kind of chores around the house. I know I am. I've been doing a lot of yard work, a lot of leaf raking. I know my yard guy's not going to be happy because I'm going to be doing that instead of him this year. But, you know, I've got the time. I mean, I'm still working just like normal, so I'm still producing my videos, but normally in between making videos, I do a lot of going out and looking at makeup, buying clothes, looking at skincare, testing things. You know, I'm not out to the stores. I'm not returning things. I'm not buying new things. I did lay in some stuff before this happened. About 2 weeks ago, I thought, you know what, it's going to get bad here in a little while, because I saw what was going on in Italy, I saw what was going on in China, and, you know, it's not like it wasn't coming here. It's going everywhere. I don't think anyone is safe from this thing because it's so contagious. So I kind of felt like it was on its way and that we would eventually be doing the social distancing. So I kind of went around and started just laying in some things that I thought I might need. By the way, the sunscreen needs 15 to 20 minutes to set up. I'm not going to talk through the entire 20 minutes. I am going to like leave you and take my dogs out and then come back. So about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I placed an order at Sephora just for some foundations and some new makeup that I wanted to try so I could keep making videos for you guys. So I did that. Placed an order at Ulta as well. Same thing. Might use some of the new stuff in today's video. I checked on my grocery supply, my frozen food, my canned goods supply, my paper towel supply, my toilet paper supply. Shockingly, I really was low on toilet paper. I know this whole thing with like the hoarding of the toilet paper is kooky, and I didn't hoard it, but I noticed that in my bathrooms I only had like one on the roll and then a spare under the sink, and I was like, that's so weird. I usually have like a pack in each bathroom, and I didn't, so I just went out and got like a couple of new packs. So I started just kind of laying in what I thought was about 2 weeks of food. I checked my dog's supplies of things and made sure I had enough dog food for them, enough of their medications, so definitely start checking that if you're in a part of the world where you're 2 weeks behind us. These are the kind of things that you should start doing. Don't want to like panic anybody and don't want you to go into panic mode, but you know, at this point today is Sunday, March 22nd. This is going to go up on Tuesday, but today the states that are on lockdown here are California, New York, they were the first two, then Illinois, and then this morning they announced Connecticut, New Jersey, and Hawaii are all doing lockdowns. So I'm in Massachusetts. I would imagine Massachusetts is going to happen soon, but you know, who the heck knows? And I hear from people, you know, I have an international audience, and so some people from Italy are writing in and saying, you know, get ready, it's coming, be prepared, take it seriously. And so I've been heeding their warnings. And then people from places where it hasn't really hit very badly yet are like, what should we be doing? And I'm like, here's what you should be doing. Just, you know, look around your house, make sure you have like a 2-week supply of things set in, maybe more, maybe like a month. I mean, who knows? Some of the lockdowns are 2 weeks, some are 3 weeks. I know all the kids are out of school. I've got another 10 minutes or so to let this set up. So I'm going to go and take my doggies outside, let them go to the bathroom, then I'll come back and we will do the makeup. All right, you guys, I'm back from taking the dogs out. It is cold out today. It's only 34 degrees. It's March 22nd, but that's what you get for living in Massachusetts. The sunscreen has had the 20 minutes to set up. It's one of these ones that doesn't really ever feel like totally dry. So if you don't like, you know, that kind of sticky feeling, then you won't like this one. But I'm hoping that by setting it with like a matte powder foundation, that will make it feel like dry and set. So I'm going to use the Bare Minerals matte. I actually have 2 of these because I don't get an exact color match in this. So I mixed 2 together. I have medium beige 12 and soft medium 11. This one is like too red and ruddy for me. This one's a little bit too orangey for me. So pour a little bit of each into the cap and then mix them together. So I'm just going to mix them up just with the brush that I'm using. This is the BK Beauty 106 brush. I really like this one a lot for powder foundation. And then I like to just take this and press it onto the parts of my face where I know I'm going to need more coverage to start. I'm going to do my under eyes with this. I normally wouldn't put this under my eyes, but you know, since it is a stay-at-home day, I'm not going to use a separate concealer. But if you are the kind of person who always uses a separate concealer, then you would go ahead and apply your concealer first if it's a liquid before you put on your powder foundation. And then I'm going to pick up just a little bit more and press it into the other areas. And I'm mainly going to concentrate this down the middle of my face, you know, where the redness is, and then just blend it out and around to the rest of my face. But that's why I pressed it kind of down the center line first. You know, I'm not really going for like a full coverage look. I just really wanted to even out my skin tone. So what are you guys doing? How are you spending the time? I would imagine it's much more difficult for parents of school-age children than it is for empty nesters like myself to suddenly become teacher, parent, playmate to your kids. That has got to be rough. I mean, my kids are both in college, and so they both live in apartments, and so they stay, and their schools are both doing remote learning, so they've signed on to Zoom, and my one daughter has started classes already. She is quarantined because her roommate was exposed to corona at work and then exposed my daughter, so the two of them are quarantined in their apartment together. So at least they're taking it seriously and they're staying home and they're, you know, doing their schoolwork, and the other one is working from home. So they don't seem to have any symptoms, but I guess that's kind of the scary thing about this, is that people can not have symptoms and fully have it and be walking around being contagious, which, you know, is kind of why the medical community is freaking out and telling people to stay home, because if you have it and you don't know it, you're still very contagious, and so you're out there spreading it. I'm just going to put a little setting powder under my eyes just because they look a little luminous for me, and you know how I am about the luminosity under the eyes. I don't really like it, so I'm just going to do a little Bye Bye Pores powder under here. All right, so that's like the foundation. That's pretty much all I'm going to do for that. For the eyes, I always like to put a little something in my crease just to disguise my hoods, because of course my eyelids, when they're relaxed, they do kind of still lay forward on my lashes. I know they don't usually look like it on video, so I do like to just usually pop a mid-toned matte right in the crease there. Now I'm going to grab this Zoeva Basic Moment palette, and I'm going to use Here to Stay, which one is it? This one up here. It might not be dark enough, let's see if it is, to just, you know, kind of disguise the crease a little bit and make the hood recede. Oh yeah, that's plenty. That's all you really need, is just like the littlest bit right there. So yeah, back to what are you guys doing? You know, I've been watching shows, not necessarily binge watching, but just watching a few of my favorites. I finished Grace and Frankie, or is it Frankie and Grace? I can never remember which order they are in on the title, but that show's really fun. I love the fashion competition shows, so I've been watching Project Runway and this new show called Next in Fashion that has Tan from Queer Eye on it as one of the hosts, and I really like that one. And then there's the new one with Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn coming out. Just random movies here and there. I watched Bombshell. That was pretty good. Not too much. I've been watching a lot of YouTube. Been trying to support my favorite YouTubers by watching their videos and letting the ads play. Because, you know, YouTubers in general are still working, but of course the viewership is way down, which, you know, not complaining. I still have a job. You know, I know there's a lot of people out there who don't have a job at all currently. My friend's niece was laid off from her job completely, no warning, no severance, no nothing. So yeah, financially it's going to be rough on a lot of people. So if you still have a job and are just working from home, you know, I wouldn't consider it a hardship, because there's so many people who are out of work completely. So yeah, I'm happy to still have my job, and it'll be here when this is over. So all right, next I'm going to put on something that looks pretty, just because it's going to make me happy and lighten my mood, and whenever I see myself in the mirror throughout the day, I'm going to be like, oh, that's really pretty. So it's the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize cream eyeshadow in the shade Gene. Don't know if you can see that. Gene, the dancing machine. You remember him? I don't know. I don't even know what that's from. Is that from the Gong Show? Does anyone remember the Gong Show? Such funny shows. Anyway, just going to take a little bit of that on my finger and just apply that to the lower part of my eyelid next to my eyelashes, and these are just the prettiest. I also have this in Marie Antoinette. This is one of the things that I bought in my little Sephora haul for being a shut-in to try. I bought a Tom Ford foundation stick. I'm going to give that a try. What else did I get? I got some things I needed. I ran out my favorite Marc Jacobs eyeliner. I used that up completely, so I got a new one of those. That's in Think. Do you guys know Sephora has free shipping right now? Because they want you to shop because the stores are closed. And you know, you gotta feel bad for everyone in retail who has been furloughed and told not to come in. I mean, that's a lot of people not going in. Isn't that just so pretty? I love that. All right, so then for the eyeliner, I always put on eyeliner whether I'm going out or staying in, no matter what. It's like eyeliner and mascara and sunscreen are my go-tos, but today I'm just gonna do a little bit more. So I'm gonna use this, what the heck is this? This is Essence Extreme Lasting Waterproof Eyeliner. This one is in Rock and Taupe, and I'm gonna do tight lining on the uppers, a little outer third here, and then regular above the lashes liner. I've been sticking to my regular workout routine. I think that working out is such a good thing to do, especially during these kind of uncertain times where you want to stay healthy. I feel like working out helps you stay healthy because it helps you to produce more endorphins, and endorphins help to keep you healthy and fight off diseases. So working out is a really good thing to do. There's always Fitness Blender. Do you guys use Fitness Blender? I use that a lot when I'm on vacation. They're free, that's great. And of course, I have 3 little workout videos that I did a long time ago. If you want to watch those, I'll link the playlist to that right up here. You can work out with me if you feel like it. Not too much equipment involved. A couple of hand weights and things like that. You can improvise. They're each 20 minutes long, and they're not too hard. You know, you can make it as hard or as easy as you want if you're a beginner worker-outer, but that's definitely something that's good to do. Like yoga is great to do. You can find a online free yoga class on YouTube. Not a class, but like a workout. I like yoga because it's very calming. I feel like, you know, the anxiety these days, it's just ratcheted up so far, like listening to the news and everything that's happening every day and in the rest of the world and here, and I don't know, it's just a nerve-wracking time. But I feel like now that the first kind of week of being in is past us, that people are starting to get more used to it and starting to find creative ways to do things together. So like I texted my daughters yesterday and I asked them if they had Yahtzee because that's a family game that we always would play together. And sadly, neither of them did, but what I was thinking was that we'd have a family Yahtzee game on FaceTime. But one of them has categories and I have that, so we might get a categories game going today. Then I texted my family, you know, like my mom, dad, my brother, sister. We used to have cocktails together every Friday night when we all were in Connecticut. So I thought that would be fun to do like a FaceTime cocktail thing, which didn't work out because my brother and my dad don't have iPhones. I'm going to put on mascara, L'Oreal Unlimited. They don't have iPhones. And so, you know, I call the group, FaceTime, my sister picks up, my mother picks up, and the 2 boys are left not being able to pick up. So my brother suggested that we do it on Zoom next week, so we're going to try that next week. I feel like we're trying to stay more connected now that we're all so separated, more than we do when we're so busy. Like I would be so busy usually that I wouldn't have time to either, you know, call anyone or pick up the phone or have a good long conversation. But in these times, like, you have time to have a good long conversation, so it's nice to reconnect with people in that way. I'm also trying to connect more with people on Instagram, you know, posting more stories and things. And, you know, I've gotten some good suggestions from people. Like one person wrote in and said that you should call your pharmacy and ask for like a 3-month supply because the president declared a national emergency. So when there's a national emergency, I guess your pharmacy is required to give you a 3-month supply of your meds if you request them. So she had said to spread the word that everybody needs to, you know, be requesting that 3-month supply of your medications. And I actually have to do that with my HRT. I have a month's supply here currently, but I need to get, you know, the following month. And I also need to get my pet's meds because I thought I had stocked up on them all, and I had 3 out of the 4, but I just used the last Heart Guard on my dog today. So, all right, let's do a little blush. I'm going to use Ciate blush in Summer Love. So pretty. And then another viewer wrote in whose daughter works at a hospital, and she was saying that when she gets out of work at like 1 in the morning, restaurants or, you know, whatever places aren't open for the daughter to get some takeout. And she was suggesting that everybody send, you know, a takeout order to your local hospital staff room so that people have something to eat when they get off their shift. So that's pretty much the makeup. I always like to have just a little something on my lips because they get dry. So I'm going to put on my Buxom. This one is in Dolly, one of my faves. What else? I feel like, you know, of course, we all need to be thanking the people who are on the front lines. Nurses, doctors, firemen, police, EMTs, people who are exposing themselves to this virus to go to work every day. I mean, that's pretty darn amazing. Even staff that you don't really think of, the people in food services, the people who clean and take the trash, the techs, everyone who's on the front line of this thing, you know, they all deserve our thanks. And have you guys heard of the clapping thing that's going to happen? I think it's happening at 8 p.m. We're all supposed to come outside, open our doors, open our windows, and give a round of applause to all those people who are putting themselves in harm's way to try to combat this thing actively. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. Hopefully you're going to be doing that too. But just beyond people who work in the medical fields and the support people who work in the medical fields, there's so many other people who are out there doing their part. Like grocery stores are still open, pharmacies are still open, you know, the cashiers there, the people who stock the shelves, the pharmacists. But those people are going out and doing their job every day, and you know, you got to take your hat off to them. One of my best friends is the food services director at an assisted living facility, so she's considered essential personnel. So even if there's a lockdown in her state, she has to still go to work. And it's interesting because, you know, they run it like a restaurant, the dining room, and they closed the dining room about a week ago, so that now all the residents who are elderly and some who have compromised, you know, immune systems, they all have to stay in their apartments, and they're delivering all the meals. So they've been ratcheting up for this for like a month and a half. They started laying in extra, you know, delivery cartons and things like that just to put the food in. So they've been, you know, thinking about it and preparing, and you have to think of all those people who have made this all, you know, possible for all this takeout to happen, who had the foresight to, you know, prepare. So anyway, just, you know, thanks so much to all the people who do things. I might not have mentioned every like job that I can think of, but you know, you're out there. If you are, leave us a comment, let us know what you're doing to help. So yeah, I guess this turned into more of a thing about Corona and being prepared and, you know, what's happening. So after this video where we're talking a lot about coronavirus, I'll probably just go back to doing my normal videos. Like I have an empties video that I recorded like 3 weeks ago. I'm going to put it up. You know, before this one, I was just putting up regular videos that didn't really mention it, and a lot of people were getting upset in the comments. They're like, you know, there's a pandemic going on. Why are you just doing this? And it's because I had polled my viewers on Instagram and said, what kind of content do you want me to do? And most people had said, you know, just keep doing the normal thing. It's an escape for us. You know, we need an escape from the news and all the bad news that's coming around, and we just need a little bit of normal to escape for like 15 or 20 minutes and watch a regular video. So this is going to be like a long chatty one about what's happening, but you know, after this I'll probably just go back to testing foundation and doing Foundation Fridays. I'm working on that under eye concealer video. I've got an empties video that's pre-recorded that I'll probably put up on Friday. I mean, who knows how long this is going to last? You know, this could be a while. So I hope you're well, I hope you're staying safe, and I hope that you are finding things to occupy yourself, and know that we will get through this. We will come out the other side. Hopefully it won't take too long and we'll be back to normal, but until then, keep checking back in with me. I will be putting out normal videos on Tuesday and Friday morning at 7:30 like I always do, so I will see you then. Thanks for coming, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.